You're listening to Identity After the Uniform, Episode 7, Why You React Before You Think, where we rebuild identity, stability, and direction when the structure is gone. I'm Gemma Gardner, former British Army, founder of the ORIS framework, and today we need to talk about reactions, because a lot of people think they have an anger problem, a motivation problem, or a self-sabotage problem. But most of the time, what they actually have is a nervous system that never learned how to slow down. And that changes everything. Because if your system is constantly scanning for pressure, you react before you think, you snap at people, overthink simple things, withdraw emotionally, shut down, go quiet, or explode over things that don't even make sense afterwards. And then comes the guilt, because later you sit there thinking, why did I react like that? I know better than that, but knowing better doesn't override conditioning, especially after years spent operating in survival mode. And military life conditions you for survival, fast decisions, high alertness, emotional suppression, constant pressure, constant responsibility. You become incredibly effective operationally, but eventually your body stops understanding the difference between real danger and normal life. And I know this personally because after leaving the army after 15 years, I genuinely thought I was struggling to adjust. But what I didn't realize was how conditioned I'd become internally. Always alert, always preparing, always carrying pressure. And even when life became quieter externally, internally, my system never switched off. That's why some people leave structured environments and suddenly feel exhausted all the time. It's not weakness, it's overload. And this is where people misunderstand themselves because they think, if I was stronger, I'd be calmer. But calmness is not just personality. A lot of it is regulation. Your nervous system affects your reactions, your patience, your behavior, your consistency, and your ability to think clearly under pressure, which means if your internal system is dysregulated, your external life eventually becomes unstable too. That's why people keep restarting, keep withdrawing, keep sabotaging relationships, keep losing momentum, or keep feeling disconnected from themselves, not because they're lazy, but because internally they never truly feel safe enough to stabilize. And this is something I now see constantly through my research and coaching conversations. The people struggling the most are often not weak people at all. Usually, they're the ones who became strong too early, the ones who learned, keep going, keep functioning, keep carrying everything, but eventually, the nervous system keeps score. And if you never slow down long enough to understand yourself properly, the cycle repeats. Different environment, same reactions, different year, same exhaustion, because behavior follows internal state. And this is why awareness matters, because once you understand this is a conditioned response, everything starts changing. The shame reduces, the confusion reduces, and for the first time, you stop attacking yourself for struggling. That's why the ORIS framework starts with awareness, because awareness interrupts autopilot, and once you can see the pattern clearly, you can finally begin rebuilding stability properly. Not through motivation, not through pretending, but through understanding what your system adapted to and what it now needs to stabilize again. Because sustainable change doesn't happen through punishment, it happens through regulation. And one of the biggest shifts in my own life was realizing rebuilding identity wasn't just psychological, it was physiological too. The body, the mind, the behaviors, the reactions, they're all connected. And once I understood that, I stopped viewing myself as broken. I started understanding myself properly instead. If this episode connected with you, that's exactly why I built the free 5-day reset, to help people understand their patterns, their behaviors, their identity, and the instability driving it all. You can access it below. And if this series is helping, please subscribe, share it, and keep being part of this journey, because people don't just need motivation anymore, they need understanding. I'll see you in the next episode.